Up next on the late edition of Action News, Pratt & Whitney workers and management have something to be thankful for tonight.
And Turkey Day is almost here as last-minute shoppers make a mad dash for the checkout line.
And a Connecticut war hero recounts his road to the Congressional Medal of Honor. We'll have the story.
I'm Ken Strayhorn. Coming up in sports, we'll have highlights from the Whalers Nordiques and wrap up the rest in the sports world. Jeff?
Well, I guess you're probably wondering about the Turkey weather. I'll let you know when I come back in just a few minutes with the forecast.
Those reports and more next on the late edition of Action News.
Live from WTNH, this is Connecticut's Action News Late Edition with Al Terzi, Cathy Marshall, Geoff Fox with the weather, and Bob Picozzi with sports. Now, Action News Late Edition.
Good evening. At the top of the news tonight, a Thanksgiving Eve agreement between the union and management at Pratt & Whitney. It could keep 15,000 machinists off the picket line this holiday season, but tonight many are still waiting to hear the details.
It's got to be money, and the benefits got to be good.
I still don't say that it's automatic. I think we should wait, get to the Civic Center, and let everything be explained. They said there was some modification, so I want to find out what that means.
The Pratt & Whitney workers will find out what the contract offer means Sunday at 1 at the Hartford Civic Center. Until then, the company and union will not talk specifics, but leaders for both sides were optimistic after the late afternoon settlement.
We've concluded negotiations with the 4 Pratt & Whitney locals in the East Hartford vicinity. We reached a tentative agreement with the company, which we are going to recommend to our membership to accept.
While there may be differences in general, I think we reached a lot of common ground in these negotiations, and I think the byproduct of that will be acceptable to our employees and the members of the International Association of Machinists.
Union officials will say the jet engine maker has come up with an improved economic offer as well as better health benefits. The company had wanted workers to pay for part of their health benefits. Just last week, signs at the Union Hall were preparing workers for a strike. Their current contract expires Sunday, but tonight some say a yes vote on Sunday will keep them from walking the picket line.
I love it. I love this contract they're giving just to Pratt & Whitney. It's the best cost we ever had.
Were you worried about going on strike?
Yes, I was. But I thank God we're not going on strike.
Now, many of the Pratt & Whitney machinists remember a bitter walkout over job security back in 1985, and they're hoping to avoid another standoff.
Well, here it is, Thanksgiving time, and the holiday is one of the busiest travel times of the whole year. Already, unfortunately, though, the carnage on the highways has been noted. One driver was killed tonight when his car hit a tree in Colchester. There was also a 2-car accident in Hartford that left a driver injured, and a motorcycle operator was killed tonight on I-91 in Hartford, just south of exit 34. This happened when his bike collided with a car. None of the victims' names has been released. Elsewhere around the state, traffic appeared to be moving pretty well tonight in spite of the heavy volume on Connecticut's 3 major interstates. All construction work has been stopped until after the weekend, and state police, as usual, say they've beefed up patrols to curb speeding and drunken driving. At Bradley International Airport, officials say about 150,000 people will arrive or depart between tonight and Sunday. Counting well-wishers, that means more than 400,000 people visiting the airport. And starting today, higher fares took effect on many routes. There'll be more on this on Nightline coming up. But analysts say travelers who planned ahead will not be affected by these new hikes.
There was also a steady stream of holiday traffic heading for the supermarkets tonight. That Thanksgiving turkey was at the top of the list for some shoppers. In fact, we found one shopper who bought 3 turkeys to satisfy her family's appetite when she visited the supermarket tonight. And most people were rushing in for everything else but the turkey, we're told. The manager at one store said today was not bad, but it was still busier than an average Wednesday.
Fire today in Wallingford. About 100 people had to flee the flames and smoke at an industrial park in town. The 5-alarm blaze began this morning at the Wallingford Barbell Company in the Silversmith Industrial Park on Quinnipiac. Now, fire officials say the blaze may have begun in a fan in the company's paint room. 4 other businesses in the same building were evacuated.
Authorities in Bridgeport tonight are investigating a possible racial attack. An 11-year-old girl says 4 girls wearing white sheets and carrying a knife confronted her as she walked home from school. The incident reportedly took place last Friday near the Beardsley Elementary School. Today at a news conference, officials said they had a sweater as evidence, a sweater with the letters KKK on it, allegedly drawn by the attackers.
We will take every measure possible to bring those responsible to justice.
I was in the questioning session with the child, and I think that we are going to get a good investigation.
Bridgeport police say 6 detectives are investigating, and the FBI is looking into the case to determine if there were any civil rights violations. Hartford police tonight are seeking an arrest warrant against 25-year-old Anthony Mitchell, charging him with kidnapping and attempted murder. Last night, Mitchell allegedly held his ex-girlfriend and an 11-year-old child hostage with a knife for 5 hours in a North End apartment. When police finally stormed the apartment, they shot and wounded Mitchell. He's in critical condition tonight at St. Francis Hospital. The woman, 49-year-old Ann Lewis, was not hurt, and neither was the child who was released earlier.
Well, tonight here on Channel 8 and ABC, another episode in the War in Remembrance miniseries. And here on the late edition, we have another visit with a Connecticut veteran of World War II. This time, a soldier who came home a hero.
The fighting in Europe produced many stories of heroism, of soldiers who risked their lives and even gave their lives. And their sacrifice, their bravery, didn't go unnoticed.
The Congressional Medal of Honor, the highest of all military awards, for conspicuous gallantry above and beyond the call of duty. And wait till you hear how a Colchester man earned his.
He's Bill Johnston, and his story unfolded back in February 1944, when his outfit on patrol near Padiglione, Italy, spotted a large group of German soldiers. Now, Bill was a machine gunner, and a good one. He killed a number of the enemy, and they backed off for a bit, but then came at Bill and his buddies again.
I was at the top of a big ditch, and the next thing, a piece of shrapnel hit me in the chest, knocked me down the bank.
Bill suffered a gaping wound. A medic took one look at him and told him there was nothing else he could do.
So they put me back on a gun.
They propped you up by the gun?
Yeah. And as they went around the corner of the bank, I must have passed out, because the next thing I woke up, I was surrounded by Germans.
He says they took him to an abandoned house where even their medics gave him up for dead. But suddenly, American artillery began to hit the house, and his captors ran out the door, giving him a chance to escape. As weak as he was still able to crawl for 1.5 miles to get behind American lines again. After 7 months in the hospital, our hero was summoned to Washington.
You actually went to the White House to get your medal from President Roosevelt. What was that like?
You're staying outside that Oval Office and your knees knock while you're waiting to go in, you know. It's not every day you get invited to go into the Oval Office with the president, you know. And my wife and my father were there, and I think they were the same way, you know. Well, after a very few minutes there, you had to relax at just the way he talked.
And when he came home to Colchester, the whole town came out with a big banquet and parade. But the biggest thrill, he says, was sharing it all with his wife and their son, who wasn't born until after he went overseas. Medal of Honor winner Bill Johnston. They're still asking him about his war story more than 40 years later.
And Bill is retired now after a long and distinguished career with the Veterans Administration in Hartford. And on this Thanksgiving Eve, we thank him for all that he's done.
And coming up next on the late edition, consumer advocate Ralph Nader takes on the insurance giants.
And boxer Mike Tyson spreads the holiday spirit. Stay with us.
Topping our Action News World Watch tonight, 5 South African black men and 1 woman known as the Sharpeville Six have been spared the death penalty. They were sentenced to hang for the 1984 mob killing of a black policeman, even though they were not linked directly to the death. President-elect George Bush has named retired Air Force General Brent Scowcroft as his national security advisor. Scowcroft held the same position under Gerald Ford. A spokesman for President Reagan says the president has vetoed an ethics bill that would have restricted lobbying activities by former government officials and members of Congress. Tropical Storm Keith is now headed for Bermuda after dumping up to 6 inches of rain on Florida's parched citrus crop. And parts of the West Coast are under siege by powerful storms, which are expected to move into the Rockies and leave behind heavy snow. And the holiday weather in Connecticut is looking better than that. Geoff Fox will be along with the forecast in just a few minutes.
Could a California-style consumer revolt come to Connecticut? Well, voters there recently passed Proposition 103, which rolled back auto insurance rates. And consumer activist Ralph Nader was in the insurance capital, Hartford, today, charging the premiums could be a lot lower if only insurance companies did a better job of management.
It's like Ford Motor Company was in 1979. Fat, lazy, wasteful, inefficient.
Nader says auto insurance premiums are up nearly 50% from what they were just 4 years ago. And he says the big problem is lack of competition and the fact that state laws exempt insurance companies from antitrust action.
Heavyweight boxing champ Mike Tyson spent today giving away 500 turkeys to needy families in Cleveland. Along with boxing promoter Don King, Tyson made the effort to call attention to poverty in America. The champ moved to the Cleveland area earlier this year and moved in with King after Tyson's wife, actress Robin Givens, filed for divorce.
Well, Ken Strayhorn here, ready to cover our Thanksgiving Eve sports report. And what? Big news from Yankee Stadium.
Very big news from Yankee Stadium. We'll talk about that in just a little while. Also tonight, the Whalers were on the home ice. They won against the Nordiques of Quebec. Sports is next.
Well, baseball's spring training is still 3 months away, but baseball's making big news tonight.
I told Cathy this big news in the newsroom, and she looked at me like, so what?
I was busy working on some other big news, Ken.
Oh, okay. The New York Yankees went back to the free agent market to get some help today. They signed free agent Steve Sachs from the Los Angeles Dodgers. The infielder inked a guaranteed 3-year deal. I'm sure we'll hear more on that. In the NHL tonight, the Whalers were hosting the Nordiques. It was a chance for Hartford to pull out of the cellar in the Adams division. They opened the night only 1 point behind the Nordiques, but it was Quebec that would get on the scoreboard first. That's Peter Staffney in the first period to make it 1-0. Now we go to the second period, and the Whalers would get it going again. Kerry Wilson would score his 7th goal of the season, and the game was knotted at 1. It was 2-1 Quebec when Hartford had to come back and battle back once again. This time the goal went to Ray Ferrero. There it is right there in front of the net. He stuck it in. A little excited Ray was. Also tonight, Hartford got a first. Brent Peterson collected his first goal of the season. There it is, the final 4-3 Hartford. It was the game Hartford needed to win, not only to stop a dry spell, but also to build confidence. After the game, we talked to the players.
You know, I haven't scored in about since November 3rd, I guess. I was reading in the press notes tonight, and I told myself I wasn't going to do, I was going to act pretty calm, but I kind of lost it for a second. It's kind of nice to see him go in the net.
It was definitely a big win for us. We were in last place there behind Quebec, and first game of 2-game set against them this week, and it's important to show them where we stand and that we're going to come out hard against them.
Peter's a young player, but he's looking very serious there despite the win. They really needed that. Pittsburgh over the New York Rangers 8-2. It was Hartford 4, Quebec 3. The Islanders not enough tonight. Washington wins that one 7-5. And in the second period, New Jersey and Calgary all tied at 1. The two best teams in the Northern Division of the AHL got together tonight in New Haven. The Nighthawks were playing host to Sherbrooke. They opened the night tied for the divisional lead. At 1:15 of the first period, Stephane LeBeau would get that goal 1-0. Second period, 19:08, Jocelyn Lemieux would score. It was 2-0 the final, 3-0 Sherbrooke. Once again tonight, the Boston Celtics had their problems in the Garden. They were playing host to the Charlotte Hornets, an NBA expansion team. And in their first season, Charlotte led the entire first half. That's Rex Chapman, remember him from Kentucky, ramming 2 home. It was late in the game, in the third period, before Kevin McHale would get that basket to put the Celtics up by 10. From there, they would stay. Let's have a look at the scoreboard. New Yorker winning tonight over Detroit. 113-111. It was the LA Lakers 138, Miami 91. And the third, New Jersey leads Phoenix 78-77. And Boston at 114-109 went up over Charlotte. The 88 edition of the Walter Camp All-American Football Team has been announced. It features Oklahoma State running back Barry Sanders and his 35 touchdowns on the year. The quarterback is UCLA's Troy Aikman. All 24 players on the team will be honored at the Yale Commons in February. The Walter Camp team is the oldest of its kind in the state. Well, there's a lot of football to be played tomorrow. We'll have highlights from some of the high school games from around the state. If you prefer the NFL, 2 games are set for tomorrow. The Dallas Cowboys will go against the Houston Oilers, and those Detroit Lions will face the Minnesota Vikings. A good day of football tomorrow. I'll be right here.
Means about a 16-hour day for you, doesn't it, Mr. Strayhorn?
No turkey tomorrow. Of course, I might not need it either.
Thanks a lot, Ken.
Trade in the turkey for a little pigskin, yes. And you, sir?
I'll be having turkey, but I'll be here also.
Oh.
And do a little bit of everything.
Watching the wonderful weather we're going to have.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I will. You know, I normally have this rule. I do not wear a coat until it gets to be mid-December, but tonight it's just too cold. I may change my mind. The forecast and the full moon in just a minute.
You'll probably be spending most of the day tomorrow around the dinner table, but you may also want to check out the outdoors, huh, Jeff?
Yeah, it's not going to be too bad. Actually, it'll look nicer than it will feel because it's going to be somewhat chilly and it's going to be breezy. And I guess I'm a little bit worried about the balloons for Macy's Thanksgiving Parade. Everybody gasp in unison.
Olive oil and Snoopy.
Because if the wind is too strong, they will not fly them. So we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah,
I know, I'm just a rotten guy again. 37 on the coast, 31 inland. It's like I planned this stuff, right? The dew point in the 20s, the relative humidity in the 50s and the 60s. The barometer is falling, and the wind is out of the north at 17 on the coast, out of the northwest at 6 in inland sections. If you're planning on going to sleep in the next 30 seconds, please stay awake. We have some astounding high school yearbook pictures coming up in just a minute. 31 at Bradley. Did I tease him well enough, Al? 33
I think
now.
they're ready.
33 at Danbury, 37 at Bridgeport and New Haven and at Groton, New London. And my weather watchers tonight, Ed Del Santo, they're putting an extra floor on the house. It was a one-story house. It is now a two-story house, 29. And when you're doing that, it becomes inside what it is outside. And he said it was a little bit chilly on the inside today. And then weather watcher Mike Mancuso in Monroe has 32. He's got a bunch of in-laws coming in from upstate New York, where he is originally from. Traveling conditions are going to be pretty good around all of the northeastern United States. Now, I've mentioned in the past, Mike went to high school with Al. We have the high school yearbook pictures today. This is weather watcher Mike Mancuso. This was 28 years ago, and now...
No. Is it?
Yes.
It's not. No, please say
I got the wrong one?
No, you're right.
And there, ladies and gentlemen, Al Terzi. Can we get a before and after shot?
Oh.
There you go. There he is now, and once again, 1960. All right, enough of that. Sort of scary, isn't it? All right. If they ever find my high school yearbook, we're in big trouble.
Oh.
The hair down there, you remember? Okay. Clear skies over Connecticut. Here is the remnants of Keith moving toward Bermuda. Top wind still 50 miles an hour, moving to the northeast at about 25 to 30. It'll pick up speed, give lots of wind and rain to Bermuda over the next 36 to 48 hours. This is a system on the west coast with lots of snow in the mountainous portions of Oregon and Washington State, and even the mountainous portions of California. That is moving into the Rockies. For us, these showers will keep going off to the northeast, so no problem with rain. We will see some cloudiness from that, and as this system moves close to our high pressure system, the two counteracting will cause the wind I'm expecting for tomorrow. A cold front moves in from the plains. Probably see it late on Sunday into Monday. The weekend looks nice. Tomorrow only in the 40s. Here's the forecast. Clear to partly cloudy, 20 to 30 for the low winds. Light at wake-up time, partly cloudy, 27 to 32. And then the rest of the day mostly sunny but breezy and chilly. 38 to 43, northerly winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Sunny on Friday, 48 to 53. And the extended forecast sunny on Saturday, becoming cloudy on Sunday. And showers and cloudy on Monday. Helene has seen one picture of me when I was younger, and she says, you were a very ugly girl back then.
Ugly girl.
Well, thanks for the look at Al. That was great.
We'll be back with some Thanksgiving wishes for you in just a moment. And we leave you tonight with some thoughts about the meaning of Thanksgiving, the spirit of Thanksgiving. We asked some of your friends and neighbors what they have to be thankful for this holiday.
I have my health, I have my strength, I have my family, we're all healthy, we have jobs, we have much to be thankful for.
My little puppy, and I'm thankful for my grandma and my granddad, and my aunt and uncle. Well, I'm thankful for my family, and my room and my house.
I got a nice, fresh baby daughter. I'm happy about it. First one.
It was Thanksgiving, my family and turkey and doing good in school.
My family, and I guess for everything in life.
That's what they're thankful for. We're thankful for you.
Thank you for joining us tonight and throughout the year. A Nightline is coming up next.
Happy Thanksgiving from all of us at Action News.